Hi, it's First Lady Kitchen here again for you. Today we'll be making delicious vegetable soup. This soup is mostly for diasporas who cannot afford pumpkin or who cannot find pumpkin leaf and water leaf where they live. So even if you can find them, I bet you try this vegetable soup. You will love it. It's very rich, nutritious and delicious. So as you all know, there is no vegetable soup without vegetables. So I'm using spinach, green amaranth, also known as efo, and kale. This kale is a good vegetable that belongs to cabbage family. So these are the vegetables that we will be using. I will wash them properly to remove all the dirt and sands and slice them. So the next one are the proteins. So in here I will be using cow skin, cow tripe, squid, dry fish and smoked fish. So the smoked fish is already on in the air fryer, so I couldn't show it here yet. So I have the chicken, the cow skin, the cow tripe and the squid. You can see the squid here. I will also be using extracted palm kernel nuts. I have palm oil, but for a long time I've been unable to get a good palm oil, so I'm just being scared of using it. This is cocoyam paste, pepper, onion and some dry bones. So I'm going to blend them smoothly. And this will have my crayfish, pepper, maggi and salt. So first thing I am doing now is to wash all the vegetables properly. I use salt to wash them very well, to remove excess dirt and sand as well. It's a lot of work and you need to be careful to avoid any dirt in your vegetables. So this is F4. I have finished washing it, so I'm going to wash the kale. As I told you, this is a cabbage family, it belongs to cabbage family. So I'm going to, this F4 sometimes, if not properly washed, you will mess up the soup, so it needs to be properly washed. So I cut off the heads and wash them with salt. I wash them properly with salt. So when properly washed, you put in a sieve to drain excess water and prepare it for slicing. Lastly, I have the spinach. Next is to wash all the proteins. So I will be beginning with the beef. I use small beef here. So after washing it, I washed it with salt as well. After washing it, I'm going to put it in a bowl and add the chicken. So you wash properly with salt as well. I have here the cow tripe and the cow skin. So you should be cautious of washing this because it always carries a lot of dirt. So I'll be using salt and vinegar to wash this. Next is the squid. So I'm going to wash this, remove the heads and the bones inside, and wash them properly. So lastly, I have the dry fish. So I soaked with hot water and allowed for some time before washing it off. So the reason for this is because it has a lot of oil at the back, so that was why I soaked it with hot water, and I removed the bones and washed them properly. So we are done washing all the washables. The next thing is to start cooking. So we'll start by putting all the proteins inside the pot, except the dry fish, which we'll be putting later. The dry fish and the smoked fish, that one we'll be putting them later. Okay, so I add in here the beef, the chicken, cow skin and cow tripe, and spice it up. So I will be spicing it with salt, Maggi cube, rosemary powder, thyme, and stir. Also add your black pepper. I almost forgot. Lastly, you add hot water or warm water. Turn on the heat and start cooking the meat. So while the meat is cooking, you sharpen your knife and cut all the vegetables. This will give you enough time as the meat is cooking. Before you finish cutting your vegetables, the meat must have been done by then. So we begin by slicing the efo, also known as green amaranth. So you slice and cut them nicely. The next one is the kale. I'm also going to slice this now. So this is what they look like after cutting them up. Okay, so you transfer in a bowl. Lastly, I'm going to slice the spinach. As you can see, the spinach is well chopped, so I'm going to transfer it in a separate bowl as well. So after cutting the veggies, it's time to check our meat. You can see the meat is well cooked now. It's tender and soft. So I'll be adding the dry fish here. Next is to add the squid. And chop pepper and garlic. You stir everything together and cover. You also allow it to cook for some minutes. Here I have the banga here. So I'm going to open it and put in a bowl. After that, I'm going to mix it with hot water. I'm going to stir and mix it with hot water. Here I have the onion, the bones, the pepper and cocoyam paste. I will be blending them smoothly. I'll be using this as my thickener in the vegetable soup. It cannot fit in the blender as I'm using the small blender, so I will blend this and add the remaining one later. So here the meat is well cooked. So, and you can see the water has dried up a little bit because vegetable doesn't require much water, so you need to be careful. So you add the extracted pan nut and stir. Vegetable has water on its own, so it doesn't require much water to avoid your soup to become watery. So be careful of that. So you stir. After stirring this, I'm going to be adding the pepper mix, the cocoyam paste, pepper and onion mix. Remember I told you it will serve as the thickener. So I added it already and stir. So after stirring this, I will cover it and allow it to cook for some minutes. Don't forget to adjust on your seasonings if necessary. So here I adjusted by adding some Maggi and salt as well. Then the crayfish. This is one of the main ingredients that is needed in this vegetable soup. So I added a lot of crayfish. I love crayfish in my vegetable soup. So I make sure I added enough. You cover and allow to cook for some minutes. After about 10 minutes, I checked on the pot and see it's bubbling. So I stir it back. It's time now to add the vegetables. So I begin by adding the F4, that is the green amaranth. I stirred it. This green amaranth, it has a lot of water in there and is a bit slimy. Yes, So after this, I'll be adding the kale, because kale is a strong vegetable, so it doesn't soak easily. So I'll stir it. And cover. So I covered it and allow it to cook for about 2 minutes or less. So here I added the smoked fish. And stir. So after stirring this, I'll be adding the last vegetable, which is the spinach. Spinach is very soft, so you add it lastly. Then everything up. At this point, you can off the heat, because I'm using cast iron pot, so it's cooking even when the heat is off. So at this point, you off your heat, cover, then you make your swallow. This is actually rice swallow, so I made rice swallow. I ate it with rice swallow. This is very rich and nutritious. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, click on the notification button for more videos, and I'm still waiting for your likes, comments, and share. Thank you guys. Bye.